What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, and we are back with another stream here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to go hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you are new, hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. Shout out to all of my members. Shout out to everybody over there on Patreon. Ironically, that is going to be the topic of discussion for this evening's live stream. It's probably not going to take me long to go through this. More so, I'm literally looking more forward to the feedback than anything. But I put up a poll yesterday asking people, did y'all want me to do a live breaking down my Patreon tiers? Because I never really did one. Y'all just know that I have one. Some people in the chat right now are actually subscribed to the Patreon on the different tiers. Some are subscribed to all. I think some of are subscribed to more than one. But, you know, shout out to all of those who support me over there. It's a 3-level tier that I have. But, you know, on Patreon, you can have as many tiers as you want. But I decided to have 3. Actually, it's a 4th one, but that's kind of like a default one. But you'll see what I mean when we get over there. But first, shout out to Kimberly for becoming a new member of the channel. I greatly appreciate that. I appreciate it. Let's see who else we got in here. We have Reparations Nation, Tamika's Den, Hacksign KT, Jerry Bedford, Kendall, Denise, DJ, Gene, Scoop. Yes, I saw. Shout out to you, Scoop. I saw that you joined the Discord. I saw last night. DSA1, Mark, and that is it so far. Now, before we go any further, put a 1 in the chat if you are subscribed to my Patreon. Put a 2 if you are not subscribed to my Patreon. I already know for a fact there is one person in here that's going to put a 1. I know for a fact there's going to be someone in here that has a 1. Hold on, Gene. Let me get the link for you. The reason why I don't have it pinned at the top is because I have the Patreon pinned at the top. I wish there was a way that I could have more than one link pinned up there. It's probably a way that I can do it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Buzzercam is also in there as well. He just came in the chat. Kendall is on there. Don P. Ben is over there as well. So, it's actually quite a few people over there. Tawana's over there. See, I believe it or not, if y'all don't know, I have like almost 150 people over on Patreon that's scattered between the multiple tiers. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to basically give you a walkthrough of the tiers on my Patreon. Those of y'all who are over there already know what it's looking like, but this is more for so the other people over there that aren't too aware of what it looks like. So let me zoom in a little bit so we can look at it a little bit better. So I had to put it onto turn the tab on to members, or look at it in the viewpoint of a member, because for me as the creator, I have 2 tabs, one as the creator and one as the member. And as the creator, it looks slightly different than what you're seeing on your screen right here. So I wanted you to see it from a vantage point of a person who is subscribed rather than myself. So if you come over here, one of the first things you're going to see is this is like a welcome page, but on here you see membership. So it just says a welcome from Torian Rain. And DSA1 say, I thought you said Discord. Hold on, I'm kind of confused with what you were trying to go at. No. I'm talking about the Patreon. You were thinking about the Discord. But yeah, I have I'm talking about Patreon right now. I just gave somebody the Discord link because they were trying to find a way to get in. Okay, so over here, one of the first things you'll see is it'll say a welcome from Torian Rain. And right here, I just says, thank you so much for supporting my page. You will not be let down. If you're one of my current YouTube subscribers, you already know how I get down. And to all others, you will soon see why you decided to stay a long-time supporter of mine. Now, I created my Patreon, I think in 2019. And at the time, I was basically sharing the same videos that I was uploading on YouTube over here. And I was like, that's not really good. And then after a while, I kind of stopped using it and it was just there. But then I said, you know what? Why don't I talk about the more crazier stories that I can't talk about on here over there and put it behind a paywall? And people ended up subscribing to it. As a matter of fact, I posted up the thumbnail or the screenshot of a recent story that I did yesterday about that woman in Germany who dropped her baby out of her apartment. That video came yesterday. And oh, by the way, and I'll probably put this like up on the announcements, but I think with the schedule I'm gonna have for Patreon is Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. I think that's probably how I'm gonna do it now, because those type of stories are so spread out opposed to the ones y'all see on here every single day. So that's basically like a little welcome right there for people to see right here. So right here, as you can see, we have the membership tiers. I have 3 of them. I have the True Crime Sunday one, the General Support, and the 2 Extreme. Now, the True Crime Sundays, the reason why I had to create that, and I actually specified on my community tab and on Patreon, the reason why I had to create this one over here is because of the copyrights. I kept getting hit with copyright after copyright after copyright. And the last one that I did over here on YouTube, the whole thing got blocked. It got blocked globally. It was the one that I did on who was the one that I did it on? Somebody in the chat, please help me out if y'all remember. It's like I'm drawing a blank right now. But it was one of the more recent ones that I did. And it got blocked globally, which means y'all couldn't see it at all. No matter what I did, it was just blocked. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have to do the True Crime Sundays here over on Patreon. And I was going back and forth of whether or not I was going to stop doing them. Not the bomber buzzer cam. That was done over here. I'm talking about the one that got blocked on YouTube. Lorenzen Wright. That was the one that got blocked. And it was after that one that I decided I'm just going to do the True Crime Sundays on Patreon. And I have it set up where it's behind a paywall, so we don't have to worry about it. It's just us over there. So that was the one that got blocked, that forced my hand to have to do this over here. Because what I was also going to do was thinking about doing it as an unlisted type of stream, but that's still connected to YouTube. And even if I still did it unlisted, it could still get copyrighted. So it was no way I was going to be able to get around it. So I decided that I'm going to just have the True Crime Sundays be over here. So the True Crime Sundays, the monthly for that is $3 a month, but it's a free 7-day trial on it. So say you join today, you'll be free for 7 days, and then the $3 will kick in at the end of the 7th day. And then, of course, it's like a subscription, monthly, $3. And on the True Crime Sundays, y'all already know, it's just that we go over a particular documentary of a particular topic, and we will go over it and we will discuss it just like how it was here over on YouTube. So far, we have already done over here maybe 2 of them so far. The third one will be tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to do like a pre-show over here so I can like get people to like come over and actually see what we're going to be talking about. Those who are already on Patreon already know what tomorrow's True Crime Sunday is going to be. So everyone else who's not over there or not subscribed to the $3 tier will find out tomorrow. Well, actually, y'all will find out this evening, because I'm going to put the live window up to after this is over, and you'll see what the topic is going to be. But it's going to be an interesting one, I will say that. And it just basically says on this tier, you will have access to the True Crime Sunday live streams, where 2 Sundays out of every month, 3 if it's a 5th Sunday. Like I think next month in September, I think there's 5 Sundays, so there'll be 3 in September. It says we will revisit a major true crime that has occurred in the last few decades and critique it. Basic, pretty simple. I put that one at the lower tier because it's only happening 3 times out the month, or 2 or 3 times out the month, opposed to the other one where that one's happening twice a week for 4 to 5 weeks. So you get more with that. So that's the True Crime Sunday tier. The other one is the general support tier. And as you can see, it says most popular. The reason why it says most popular is because that's the one that I have the most people who are subscribed to that. Now, initially, this tier was only just a regular tier. There was nothing that was going to go on this tier. It was nothing there, but I didn't have anything to offer at the time. And I said, I don't want to just sit there and seem like I'm just taking people's money just because. So I decided to start adding stuff to it. And basically, this tier is where I put the videos at, the real hardcore type of videos. And what I did was I kept the 2 extreme one there. And shockingly, no one actually complained that I had basically a $5 tier and a $10 tier that basically kind of catered to the same thing. People was like, okay, well, I mean, if it's there, it's there. If people subscribe to it, they will. If they don't, they don't. So the general support and the 2 extreme basically work hand in hand. So that one's 5 and the 2 extreme is 10. And just like the True Crime Sunday, it's free for 7 days. It's a 7-day trial for both of those as well, just like the True Crime Sunday. Now, when it comes to the True Crime Sunday, you only have access to that tier, which means if you only subscribe to the True Crime Sunday tier, you do not have access to the general support or the 2 extreme. However, if you are subscribed to the general support or the 2 extreme, you also have access to the True Crime Sunday. So you don't have to like subscribe to this one and subscribe to this one. Or you don't have to subscribe to general support and True Crime Sunday. You basically are grandfathered in to this one. So basically you're getting 2 for 1 if you are in this one or this one, which means you also have access to this one. But if you are only subscribed to this one, you only have access to this. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Put a 2 if you need me to go over it again. Okay, so I'm seeing the ones. I just want to make sure that I'm not losing anybody. Now, I'm also noticing that I forgot the Nightbot has the Patreon link floating throughout the chat. I forgot that if I had known that, I would have put the Discord pinned at the top instead of the Patreon one. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that everybody pretty much understood it. So those are the memberships. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click the Home tab, and I'm going to go down by the tiers. So remember, I told you there's like a basic tier that's just basically a free tier. You don't see it on there because it doesn't say that you can create a tier under the word free. But there are a lot of people that are subscribed under free. But I'm going to be honest with you. Free, really all free is basically announcements or like random stuff. It's not conducive to the other like tiers where you're actually getting something. They're mainly announcements or just other posts. Like the last free thing that I posted up here is it says Happy Gavin Long Day on July 17th. I didn't feel the need to have to put that under a paid tier. That could have something that's accessible to everyone. Then, you know, right here on July 14th, I was just asking my people, do y'all receive the email notifications? And that was just a random poll. This one, of course, is about Micah Johnson on the 2nd. Then right here, this is another example of me making an announcement. AW1 says, what's up, Torian? How many paid Patreon members do I have? About 52, 53. Out of the 143 that are subscribed, about 53 are paid. This is another example right here of a new tier. Like I was saying, this post right here is when I had announced that I was creating the True Crime Sunday tier on June 24th. This was this post right here, and I just made it as an announcement. Like I said, on the free one, those are just announcements. Of course, right here, I made another announcement just acknowledging, you know, saying Happy Juneteenth. Another one that says Happy Mother's Day. There was a Father's Day one up here too, I could have sworn. This one right here, this was the first. This one right here was like a celebratory stream where I was just saying, this is when I first had 100 Patreon subscribers, and I just did this particular stream right here. And I just made it accessible to everybody. And this is me announcing that my first Patreon live stream is coming up and all of that good stuff. So that's all the announcements that I have so far on this page. Also, like announcements like, if say that, for instance, I was going on vacation and all types of stuff like that, I'll put that on the announcement page. So basically the free tier is an announcement tier. That's basically what the free tier is. So that's the free one. Then, of course, when it comes to True Crime Sunday, that's the one right here that has all the True Crime Sundays on here. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we did Timothy McVeigh, revisiting the Oklahoma City bombing. That was 2 weeks ago. There, of course, like I said, there will be another one tomorrow. The reason why you see July 28th here is because what I do is I download the playback of the stream and then I upload it a week before the new one kicks in. So while it does say July 28th on here, really we did this live the week before it. That way, for those who did not catch the live, now they'll be able to see it, but basically a week later. But under the True Crime Sunday tier. And shout out to Denise because she left a couple of comments. And also shout out to Denise because she was there in the chat. Buzzercan was also in the chat for that one as well. Now, as you see, July 18th, that was when we actually went live with that particular one. Then, of course, we had the Night Stalker one. That was the first official live that I did over here. Post copyright stuff here on YouTube over here on Patreon, which was on, as you can see, it says streamed on July 7th, but I basically made the playback available on the 17th. And the rest of them are, I downloaded the other True Crime Sunday ones that I did on YouTube and just uploaded them over here. And the other ones, the ones that I downloaded off of YouTube, are still on YouTube now, but I just made them members only. So if you are a member on the channel, then you can watch the True Crime Sundays that I've already done over there. But as far as any more True Crime Sundays being on YouTube, that's not happening. Not after the last one. That was a sign right there. So all the True Crime Sunday streams will be over here every 2 Sundays. Well, 2 Sundays out the month, 3 if it's a 5th Sunday. And they will be at 12 p.m. Eastern time. The time is still the same. Like I said, I will do like a pre-show type of thing over on StreamYards to get people over there, especially if you're already subscribed and you have that benefit, but you probably just don't know how to get there. That's basically me saying go from here to here. What's going on, Miriam? So that's the True Crime stream. The next one, of course, is general support. So this right here, y'all are able to start seeing some of the topics over here. Like I said, the general support has access to the regular videos as well as the True Crime Sunday. So what you'll notice as I'm scrolling down is you'll see the videos under that one plus the True Crime Sundays ones there because they have access to both of them. That's why you see this one over here as well under a different tier. And just more videos as we go along. Like I said, most likely I'm going to be dropping those videos every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time because like I said before, 8 a.m. is too early for some people. It's too early for people even on the East Coast. So I know it's early for people on the West Coast. That's 5 o'clock. They're either just getting up or getting ready to go to work and all of that good stuff. At least at 8 p.m., people are off. Or in the case of people on the West Coast, they're probably getting ready to get off. Shout out to Denise because I got a notification that came through, and I believe that is yours. Let me stop sharing my screen right quick so I can actually check that to make sure that it is you. Yep, that is you. Shout out to Denise for upgrading because she was at the True Crime Sunday one. You was on the True Crime Sunday one. And now you have upgraded yours to the the general support. So I greatly appreciate it. So now that means when by Denise doing that, she now has access to not only the tier of general support, which are the videos, but now she also has access to what she just upgraded from. So now she basically has access to two things. So shout out to Miss Nisi for that. And y'all better tell them, y'all better tell the people that it's some crazy. For those who are subscribed to my Patreon, y'all better let the people know in the chat who are on the fence. It's some wild stories over there. It is some wild stories over on that Patreon page. Scoop says, does YouTube have any control of Patreon? No, they do not. Patreon is their own entity. Now, the only thing that they have connected to YouTube is if you decide to use YouTube as a way to go live on Patreon through YouTube's system, but that's about it. But because I'm putting stuff up over here on Patreon and I have it behind a paywall, Patreon is its own entity. It is not owned by YouTube. Trying to see if y'all have any questions, please ask me, because I want to make sure that if y'all have any questions that they need to be answered like now. That's the whole point of me doing the stream. I know it's not a lot of people in here. I'm actually surprised that it's 37 people in here, because I thought it was probably going to be way less than that, because it's not a traditional stream. It's more like a walkthrough. And trust me when I tell you, it hurt my heart to have to do or make True Crime Sundays a tier on Patreon, because I wanted that to stay on YouTube. I wanted everyone to have access to that. But when that happened, something that's beyond my control, I had to make a shift. I had to make a pivot. And like I said, I really did not want to do that, but that's what ended up happening. But I enjoyed, though. It's gonna eventually grow. It's still the live form is still kind of low right now, because a lot of people are like either not going to do it, or they still need to find a way to come over for that. But we're gonna make it do what it do. And like I said, I have enough True Crime Sunday topics to last probably the rest of the year. Scoop said, how long have I been on here? Are you talking about on Patreon? How long I've been on Patreon? If you're asking how long I've been on Patreon, probably since 2019. But I didn't really start using its effectiveness like I am now until like last year, maybe less than a year ago. Because I have a lot of posts on Patreon that y'all don't see. But like I said, they were basically me downloading videos that I did and re-uploading them on Patreon, which would have defeated the purpose for what I was trying to use the Patreon for. But now I use it more seriously. And now because now I, like I said, I have 146 people who are subscribed to the Patreon in total, and out of the 146, about 54 are paid members. As a matter of fact, Patreon, as y'all already know, usually a lot of people who have reaction channels, they are the ones that typically use Patreon the most, because they want to upload unedited reactions of movies and TV shows and all of that good stuff. And then what they'll do is they will upload the edited version on YouTube. So basically they're double dipping, which is a smart business move. So you got your unedited versions over on Patreon where you can watch it all the way straight through with no edits. And then you have the people on YouTube who probably can't afford to do Patreon or whatever the case may be. You still have them over there. So, and if your channel is monetized, so you're getting paid from YouTube and you're getting paid from Patreon. So you're getting paid twice. And how Patreon pays out, they pay out on the 5th of every month, whereas YouTube pays out, unless it falls on a weekend or a holiday, the 21st of every month. So you're getting paid at the beginning and the end. And if you work a job and you get paid bi-weekly, you're getting paid 4 times. And people who have like large channels like on YouTube tend to have a large following on Patreon as well. And Kendall, this is what I've been trying to tell Mo why he should get on the Patreon. And I actually had a discussion with him maybe a couple weeks ago. It was after a stream that he had did, and we spoke for about a good 30 minutes about it. But like I said, that's really, at the end of the day, that's his decision if he's going to create it or not. And I keep telling him, I said, you could work that Patreon with the stuff that you do. Like I said, he could do like the full length reaction of whatever show he's watching on Patreon, and then on YouTube have the discussion. Yes, Denise Modai J. I keep telling him that's what he should do, because he already has the following of people, especially when it comes to the Power series. He can do that on Patreon and have the full length show over there on Patreon, and then on YouTube have the discussion. But like I said, that's really, at the end of the day, that's his decision. I keep telling y'all, people who like do television shows and movie reactions thrive on Patreon. I promise you they do, especially if they got a large following already on YouTube. Scoop says, yeah, I don't know anything about Patreon. It's all new to me. Like, that's the whole point. That's the whole reason that I'm here. It's more technical for me as the creator, as the person putting the stuff out, than it is for the person who is subscribing. As a subscriber, all you're doing is picking a tier and subscribing to it, and you just have, and the rest is on me. Patreon is basically the pay for version of YouTube. You know how on YouTube you just hit the subscribe button and boom, that's all it is, but it's free. Patreon's like that too, but you pay. But the thing about Patreon is that the stuff is behind a paywall. So you actually have to have a membership in order to access it. Just like if you were a member on YouTube, if you're a member on YouTube, it's the same exact, it works the same exact way. Denise said Mark Dark and MovieBot should consider using Patreon too. They listen, especially Mark Dark, because he has a major following as it is anyway. His Patreon would thrive. For real, for real. If he came out today and said to his audience, hey, I created a Patreon and it's this, and this, I'm telling you, he would probably have well over 100 subscribers probably within the first 24 hours. At the highest tier. Miriam says, at the second tier, do we get access to all the videos and live streams? Yes. The general support, yes, you have access to the True Crime Sundays and the videos. Like I said, the general support, which is the second tier that you're talking about, and the 2 Extreme, which is the third tier, basically work hand in hand. They're basically the same thing. Scoop says, does Patreon have an app? Yes, it does. Patreon does have an app. And if you see right here, like, hold on, let me take this off the screen right quick. If y'all see right here where my cursor is, where it says Torian Rain Creator, that's on my page. Now, if I click that and I go to member, then you would see whose Patreon I'm subscribed to. I think I'm only subscribed to 4 people's Patreon, and pretty much these are people who do like reactions. But I have to really be into whatever it is that you react to on your channel for me to pay to subscribe to you. And I actually do watch a lot of the content, not all of it, but a lot of the content that each of these channels have. One is like a strictly a movie reaction channel, and the other 2 are a movie and television show reaction channel. Yes, well, Scoop, I don't know if you have a Android or a iPhone, but like Ms. Nisi said, if you have an Android, it's the Google Play Store or the Play Store, and of course, if it's an iPhone, it's the App Store. Miriam, you said you have the app. But yeah, I'm glad that y'all are asking questions because I definitely want to be able to answer them to the best of my abilities. Kendall, you said I just messaged him. We'll see what. Well, first off, I doubt he's going to respond back now because he's over there having the time of his life at the Olympics. So he probably not even worried about that right now, and he probably won't respond to it until he gets back home. Oh, so you got an Android? Okay, cool. So you have the Play Store, and Miriam, you have the App Store. They're in both of them. Just go in there, type Patreon, and it'll be like you'll see it. And then when you download it and you just find my name, just type in Torian Rain, which is right here, and it'll come up in a drop down, and you hit one of the tiers. Like I said, let me reiterate it again. True Crime Sundays only gives you access to just the True Crime Sunday lives and the playbacks of this. If you subscribe to either this one or this one, tier 2 or 3, you have access to the videos and the True Crime Sunday lives and playbacks. It's a reason why this one's the most popular one. It's a reason why tier number 2 is the most popular one. I think I have like 20 now. Well, now that Miss Nisi subscribed to it, now I think I got like 21 people that, excuse me, that are subscribed under general support. I think under True Crime Sundays, I think it's now, it might be 6 now that Miss Nisi upgraded. So it might be 6 under here. And under here, I think it's about 5 under here. I'm not entirely sure, but I know this one has like 21. Okay, I see another person just joined the general support under the 7-day trial. Their name is FM. If you go by the username of FM and you subscribe at 4:27 p.m., can you let me know if you're in the chat? And shout out to Kendall. Kendall says she's on tier number 3. So Kendall is at this level, the highest tier, the $10 one. And like I said, it's free 7 days for all of them. I was going to incorporate the Discord thing, but I have to figure out how to work that. And basically, if I attach, because the thing is, if on here, I can attach my Discord to Patreon, which means if you have Discord, like if you have the Discord app on your phone, when you join, it'll automatically put you into my Discord server. So let's say, for instance, I'll use Denise for example. Say Denise had Discord and she just joined my Patreon today at any tier, and I had the benefit of joining the Discord underneath that tier. When she signs up under that tier, she will automatically be placed into my Discord without her having to go find me on Discord and put it in, trying to get access in there. Now I know with enough, it was people I'm subscribed to. I ended up getting put into their Discord maybe a good month after I was subscribed to them. And I know why they did that. They said, we're not going to have you just join the Discord and you don't stay for a certain amount of time on the Patreon. So that was actually smart on their part, because I didn't add myself in, but I saw that they had a Discord, but I was wondering why I wasn't in there. And then one day I got put into their Discord server. And I think it's because I had to be in their Patreon for a certain amount of time before it allowed me to be in there. Scoop said, which one is tier 2 again? You said that gets the True Crime Sundays. Yes. The general support, this one right here, the $5 a month one, that gives you access to the videos that I do, that I upload twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, and it gets you access to the True Crime Sundays lives as well. The True Crime Sundays is the only tier where you only have access to just one thing, which is the True Crime Sunday live streams and playbacks. The general support and the 2 extreme give you access to the videos and the True Crime Sunday live streams and playbacks. Like I said, it's a reason why this one has the most popular highlighted above it. And also, I welcome people to send me messages, like potential stories that I could do that are conducive to the Patreon on here. Like, you can just go and send me a message and send me something on there. As a matter of fact, Tawana, if you are still in the chat, if there's a story, because you are subscribed to my Patreon, I think under the general support, if you have a story that you know is more aligned with the Patreon, I would prefer that you send me a message on Patreon rather than put it in the Discord, because those will be easier to read. Because on Patreon, in the Discord, that story can end up getting lost because you be going crazy in the Discord. So I would prefer that you send me the message for those stories to me on Discord. Denise says she saved her spot for tomorrow. Yes, she did. And if y'all don't know what she's talking about, saving her spot, she's talking about for the True Crime Sundays. And Denise, listen, I got the Atlanta child murders on the list. It's probably going to be a while before we get there, but it is on the list. Trust me on that. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can count these off. I have, including tomorrow, 19 True Crime Sunday topics, if you include the one we're doing tomorrow. And Denise, the one that you sent me or you want me to talk about is number 12 on the list. So we gonna have a little while before we get there, but we gonna get there. Okay, Tawana, you said okay, cool. Yes, that would be so much easier if you sent me those stories through here. I'm gonna probably be on here for about another 5 minutes just to see if anybody else has any questions. I feel like Scoop and Marion were the ones asking all the questions. I ended up getting one upgrade and someone joined under the general support for the 7-day free trial. Scoop 2003 said, so the stories on Patreon are raw and unedited. You know what? Well, I was going to say I'll let the chat do it for me, but Denise already answered the question. I'll put it like this. Any video that I could upload on YouTube that will probably get instantly yellow marked is being talked about over here. Now, Scoop, I don't know if you saw hold on. Let me do something right quick. Let me go to my community tab right quick so I can show you what I mean by this. Hold on. Scoop, do you see this right here? Let me zoom in a little bit. Do you see this right here? This was on my community tab yesterday. New Patreon exclusive now available. And shout out to Marion for joining the Patreon. I appreciate it. German woman dropped her newborn baby out of her apartment window. I could only get away with posting just that on the community tab just to guide people to the Patreon so they can see the actual video itself. I wouldn't even play the video on here from Patreon during this live. This is a crazy story. This is the type of story I would not put like as a video up on here. I just announced that this was the latest video on here so people could say, oh, you know what? I might want to hear about that. So that's just an example right there. Okay, shout out to you, Goddess. I see you right there. You have joined. So we got an upgrade and 2 new members. I appreciated it. B1 Mike Mellis, John. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and break down my Patreon tiers. I'm gonna be on here tomorrow around. Well, I have a premiere video coming tomorrow at 11, and then at 11:30, Scoop said you got me interested. Hey, listen, if this right here didn't convince you, wait till you see the pre-show I do for the True Crime Sunday tomorrow, which is something I'm just now implementing. Which I probably should have did, but I didn't think about it at the time. So tomorrow is at 11. You're going to get a premiere video, and then at 11:30, we're going to do a pre-show here on YouTube about what's going to be talked about in the True Crime Sunday live on Patreon at 12. And it's kind of like a way to guide people over there as well, just in case they don't know. And also, too, when it comes to Patreon, when it like the notifications, they're email based. So whatever email you signed up with, that's where the notification is going to go. YouTube used to have an email notification system, but then something happened and they stopped doing it. I wish they would have kept it because that email notification system actually worked a lot better than the so-called system they got going on right now in a lot of ways. So say, for example, True Crime Sunday. I'll use that as an example. When I get ready to go live on the True Crime Sunday, they will send an email to the email that you signed up with 10 minutes before the live begins. So you know the live starts at 12 p.m. So they're going to send you the notification at 11:50 a.m. So check at 10 minutes before, and I'm like for those for the True Crime Sundays or the people who sign up more so for the True Crime Sundays because that's really what it's targeted for, as far as like how to get there and the sign up. You know what? Let me go ahead and actually walk y'all through that process because that's a whole different process for that. So let me stop sharing my screen right quick so I can get this set up. So now y'all are actually about to find out ahead of time what the True Crime Sunday topic is going to be hours ahead, mainly because I have to show y'all how to get there. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, so say that you have the True Crime, at least the True Crime Sunday tier. Let's say at least you have that one. When you get there, I have it pinned at the top. So when you get there and go on there, I want y'all to really pay attention to this. When you go there, you're going to see something right here that's going to say live stream powered by Crowdcast. And underneath it, it has the title. It's called The Biggest Ponzi Scheme Ever. That's going to be the title of tomorrow's True Crime Sunday. And then what you'll do is when you get over there, you're going to click the button that says Watch Live Stream. And it's going to bring you here. Now, of course, you come here now, nothing is going on because the live does not begin for another 19 hours, 12 minutes, and 28 seconds. But as you can see, now y'all know what the True Crime Sunday is going to be tomorrow. But we'll, of course, for those who are not here right now, y'all will find out tomorrow. It's going to be about Bernie Madoff. So that's tomorrow's True Crime Sunday entry. And as you can see, it says August the 4th, 12 p.m. It's unlisted, Patreon only. So you have to be on Patreon in order to watch this with me. It has, the description. It says, in this edition of True Crime Sundays, I will be discussing what has been documented as the biggest Ponzi scheme in American history committed at the hands of Bernie Madoff. Then what you'll do is when you're over here, you're going to click Save My Spot. Then what you'll do is you'll click Continue with Patreon. Hold on, y'all. Then right here is going to say Crowdcast would like to view Patreon identity info, including full name, account status, and connected social accounts. View your email address. View Patreon identity info, including your name, account status, and connected social accounts and pledges, including status and all of that good stuff. They're not trying to get your information. Let me just put that right there. They're not going to ask you for your ID or a driver's license or anything like that. Then once you do that, you're going to go ahead and click allow. The only reason I'm not clicking allow is because it's going to take me all the way in. But once you do that, it'll take you into like a waiting room, almost like StreamYards a little bit. And then you'll just sit there and you'll wait for it to begin. That's it. Does anybody need or have any questions about that process as far as the True Crime Sundays go? Kendall says she got it. Cool. But like I said, I'm going to do like a pre-show tomorrow, 30 minutes before it begins. That way I can galvanize the people over here since the vast majority of my audience is on YouTube. Because there are some people who are on these tiers and don't know how to get to this point. So they're missing out. And I don't want y'all to miss out. Oh, no problem, Denise. And see, Denise, you already know how to do it because you've already been in 2 of them already. So you know how it's done. But I got to make sure that as many more people understand how to do it. That way it becomes routine when that time comes around, which is another reason why I do the True Crime Sundays every 2 weeks. So there's that. And that's pretty much it, y'all. That's pretty much it. I went over the tiers. I went over the benefits of each tier. I'm still contemplating about the Discord thing. I showed y'all how to access and get to the Crowdcast window so y'all can come into the True Crime Sunday live streams when they happen. Tomorrow, like I said, 11 a.m. premiere video. Hold on. Buzzercan says, I try to push join for unlock for your video on Patreon, but I can't for some. What do you mean by that? Because you was on the last. I saw you in the last True Crime Sundays live that I did. He said, I mean, I tried to pay for that video yesterday. I'm trying to understand what it is that you're saying, or that you're alluding to. What tier are Buzzercan? What tier are you subscribed? You would clearly have to be under the True Crime Sunday one if that's what the one you was on a couple weeks ago. He said you were talking about the woman who dropped her bait. You should have access to that. If you are if you're only under the True Crime Sunday one, then you wouldn't have access to that video. You would have to be under general support or too extreme in order to see that particular video that you're talking about, if that's what you mean. Yeah, check to see what tier you're under. That's probably why. If you're not under general support, that's why you couldn't see that other video. You would have to be under the general support or the one above it in order to access that video. But anyway, y'all, that's gonna be pretty much it for this stream. Like I said, tomorrow y'all are gonna get the premiere video. I'm actually about to put the window up for that now as I'm speaking, and also the True Crime Sunday pre-show tomorrow as well at 11:30. With that being said, y'all, enjoy the rest of your evening. We will be back on here tomorrow for the premiere and the pre-show and the True Crime Sunday. Be safe and be one.